You've heard of their two-way crossover. Well, NCIS is turning it up a notch with a three-way one now. The trailer for it just came out, and you bet it's got everyone talking. It's their biggest crossover to date, so save the date on the 9th of January. In this video, we'll be telling you all about the epic new trailer and what fans are saying about it. Let's get into it. First off, the triple whammy in question. Seeing all your favorites from LA and Hawaii, that and interacting with the cast of The Parent Show? Sign us up! The official social media platforms released the trailer. It was like a delightful sneak peek into what's to come to our screens very soon, and the caption was nothing short of enthusiastic. It urged fans to prepare for the biggest crossover yet, and that it's gonna air on Monday, the 9th of January. It'll feature these three shows all in one evening, so you'd better tune in. Talk about hype! It started off with the one and only Vanessa Lachey introducing us to the trailer itself. Starting anything off with Agent Jane Tennant is always a good idea, which also proves true here. It was a sweet welcome because there's so much to unpack about the actual teaser itself. Right after that, we see flashes of her character and Sam Hanna tied to chairs with masks over their faces. It looked like they were in a hostage situation, and it's pretty intense. You can't see her face, but a mysterious woman tells them they must tell her everything if they want to survive. Sure, they're not new to near-death experiences, but something tells us this is bigger than anything we've seen before. The clip goes on to reveal that the objective is to find the culprits behind the death of a very well-loved professor. Hearing Alden Parker tying the team together by telling them that they need to follow the evidence to get to the truth was like music to our ears, folks. Up next, the high stakes. Before this, fans were worried that LL Cool J's Sam Hanna would leave the show. That certainly put those rumors to rest, because he's killing it in the trailer. He asks Jane if she has a plan, to which she says the simplest, most NCIS thing ever. The plan, essentially, is to take out the bad guys. Point blank, period. Of course, there's a twist that nobody knows of yet. The clip ended with Hanna worried about what the three teams have gotten into. Whatever it is, it's pretty big. It's common to see the detectives anxious, but the vibe is much more intense here. It makes sense because it's their first three-way crossover. Of course, something huge is gonna go down. Fans were ecstatic in the comments. That's just putting it mildly, folks. One person wrote that this is the biggest TV event they're excited to see like ever. It's also a 3-hour-long special, so it's safe to say we're in for a real treat here. It's also not that far away on the calendar. The hype is real, y'all. That being said, a lot of fans seem to be agreeing on one specific thing. Many people commented that they wish they could see Gibbs and Hetty in this one because they're just so special to the show. If you've been in the fandom long enough, you know how long we've been wanting to see Leroy make a little appearance here and there. This seems like the perfect opportunity to do so, don't you think? And now, a nod to Gibbs. Even after his departure, he's been a main topic of discussion. That's how you know a character has staying power. The showrunners and fanbase all love him equally, and we've got reason to believe that the higher-ups have some plans for him soon. His absence hit everyone super hard, especially McGee. You can see him struggling with it through his novel, where he based his main character off him. Well, things might just look up for him. TV Line's Matt Webb-Minovich talked a little about the upcoming crossover, and he had some interesting things to say. Matt confirmed that seeing how the teams squabble about seniority is fun. You've got 3 different units coming together, so seeing the power dynamics change is gonna be some quality entertainment. There's bound to be a reference to Gibbs because he did lead the flagship show till he left for Alaska in season 19. According to him, they'll even end up interrogating a member of their own teams. Nothing like a trust-building exercise years into the job, right? At the end, Minovich added that fans should be ready be for a certain Gibbs presence in one of the scenes. He didn't explain any further, but the fact that we got to hear it is so big in itself. It's unclear whether he'll make an actual appearance or if it's a flashback. Either way, we know he's part of it in some capacity. Coming up, a tiny problem with the release date. The special was supposed to air on the 2nd of January, actually. That was until they experienced some difficulties and had to reschedule to the 9th. This might not be ideal for some fans, even though it's just a week late. This is because it'll now clash with the College Football Championship. It airs the same night at 8 p.m. ET, and if you like both, you're gonna have to choose which one to watch. Yeah, it's not the best place to be in. A Twitter user said they aren't sure who at CBS was in charge of placing these two events on the same night. But whatever the outcome is gonna be, the ratings are gonna be interesting. Others joined in, saying that they think that the choice is stupid. Of course, you'd want to watch the latest special episode uninterrupted and have time to catch up with football. It's gonna be a bit tricky navigating it, but oh well. The exciting news of the crossover seems to be the main thing everybody's talking about. Now let's look at the Easter eggs and details you missed in the NCIS crossover trailer. Firstly, a Yellowstone star makes an appearance. If you ever wished to see a Yellowstone and NCIS collab, this is a step in that direction. They dropped another trailer that explains the story in much more detail recently, and that's where we see Dawn Olivieri. To set the scene, there's an alliance between Deeks and Torres and a haunting hostage plot for Tennant and Jimmy Palmer. One of the most important takeaways from the trailer is who the agents will be up against. The promo confirmed that it's Olivieri. In the trailer, she enters the fray just as it is revealed that the two agents have been kidnapped and are being held as hostages in an unknown location. Jane notices that they're not alone, and they do all the talking through the bags over their heads. Dawn's character then unmasks them and tells them to spill everything they know if they want to make it out alive. It's life or death. You know she's not playing. Turns out she's the mystery woman. She's got armed guards at her side, so you can guess she's a pretty big deal. Holding these two hostages isn't easy, so she's a huge threat. That just adds to the hype of seeing the actress from Yellowstone. Seeing her play Claire Dutton in the origin story, and now the antagonist of the special episode, count us in. Up next, the hints about Olivieri in the trailer. The question on everyone's mind is who is her character, and what does she want with the NCIS team? More specifically, why just Jane and Jimmy? As the trailer goes on, it looks like Sam Hanna figures out just what Dawn's role wants from them, and her involvement in the case. He's shown speaking with Palmer and Tennant, following what appears to be a successful hostage rescue mission. There's another scene just after he realizes they've stepped into something big. It implies that he knows who's behind the kidnappings, and it ties in with the alleged suicide of the professor. The thing is, he doesn't look all that convinced. They didn't reveal her exact identity because what good is a trailer if it tells you everything? There's also a detail about her supposed identity that just confuses the team even more. Honestly, this sounds like 3 hours of absolute mayhem to us. Coming up, the connection to the CIA. This makes it all even spicier. In a brief scene with Tennant, Hanna asks why the CIA would abduct them. That's a name we didn't expect to hear. That begs the question of whether Dawn's villain is leading a team of highly skilled CIA agents to interfere with the NCIS teams. It's a real head-scratcher, isn't it? Fans will have to tune in to find out for sure, but Olivieri is no stranger to playing strong opposition to the show's lead as Sarah Atwood in Paramount's Kevin Costner-led drama Yellowstone. She knows how to play the bad guy really well, so we're super stoked to see her performance. And now, the body bag clue that had fans worried. Wilmer Valderrama recently posted a cute picture from behind the scenes of the crossover, and that got fans talking. On the surface, it seems like a harmless picture of the cast smiling and posing next to a body bag. bag. Well, that's just what you get when you're on a crime show, but fans were curious to know who was in the bag. Judging by the shape, somebody was definitely in there. A fan commented, asking about who might be inside. The suspense is killing us all, folks. Here's the thing. Wilmer replied and said that it's someone we all know, followed by a series of crying emojis. That's when the panic set in, and now folks are worried it might be Gibbs inside. The high stakes of the trailer are probably building up to this specific death. There was a lot of concern in the comments. Some were begging them not to kill off Gibbs if he returned, and others are just waiting it out. Either way, it's confirmed that someone close to all the teams dies. It's just a matter of time before we find out who it is when the episode airs on the 9th of January. Let's sit tight till then. Well, that's all for this one, folks. What do you think of the three-way crossover trailer for NCIS? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.